Hello guys, how are you?
I'm Hardeep Singh. Welcome back to your own YouTube channel. IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test, and speaking, you got guesswork. Please, guys, participate in everyday listening and reading practice test to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Press the bell icon for the upcoming notifications. Don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams.
Part 1.
You'll hear a student speak with a library in charge about ordering some books. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 4. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 4.
City Library, Janet speaking. How can I help you?
Hi, is that the City Library?
Yes, it is.
I wanted to know the procedure for placing an order for some books.
Do you have an account with us?
No, I don't. Is an account necessary to purchase books from the library?
No, it isn't. But you get a 16% discount on the retail price of the books if you have an account with us.
Oh, is that so? 18% sounds like a great discount. I think
Not 18%, I said 16. You get a 16% discount on your order.
Right. 16%. I think I would like to open an account in that case. Can you tell me how to go about doing so?
Sure, you just need to come down to the library and fill a simple form. We would require an ID proof and an address proof, along with a stamp-size photograph of yours.
Okay, that sounds all right. Can I fill this form when I come to pick up the books? I stay on the outskirts of the city, and travelling to and from the library will require at least half a day.
Sure, you can fill up the account opening form when you come to pick up the books. Which books would you like to order?
I need 3.
I'm sorry, before I take your order, can I please have your name?
Before listening to the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at question 5 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 5 to 10. It's Sean.
So, that is S-H-A-W.
No, not W. It is a U. S-H-A-U-N.
OK, got it. And your surname, please?
Vaughan. That's V-A-U-G-H-N.
Thank you for providing your name. Can you tell me which books you're looking for?
For starters, I'm just looking at purchasing one book, A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking. Do you have it with you?
Let me check. You said the name of the author was Stephen Levitt?
No, not Levitt. It's Hawking. Stephen Hawking.
You're in luck. A copy of the book is available with us, and this is the last copy. So would you like us to reserve it for you?
Yes, please. That would be great.
OK, I've reserved the book for you. Please visit our library within 48 hours and complete all the account opening formalities. The price of the book is $30. After your 16% discount, it will cost you $25.20.
Sure, I'll do that. I can pay you by credit card, right?
Yes, you can, but we charge a 2.25% processing fee on card payments.
A 2.5% processing fee is too high.
I said 2.25%, not 2.5%.
Got it, but it's still pretty high. I think I'll pay by cash in that case.
Sure, you can pay by cash.
I'll drop in tomorrow around 11:30 a.m. and complete all the formalities. May I know who I'm speaking with?
It's Janet. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice day.
Thanks. You too.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 2.
You will hear a tour guide describe the Yellowstone National Park. First, you have time to look at questions 11 to 13. Now listen and answer questions 11 to 13. Yellowstone National Park is the oldest, one of the largest, and probably the best-known national park in the United States. It is situated principally in northwestern Wyoming and partly in southern Montana and eastern Idaho, and includes the greatest concentration of hydrothermal features in the world. The park was established by the U.S. Congress on March 1, 1872, as the country's and the world's first national park. It was designated a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve in 1976 and a World Heritage Site in 1978. The park, which forms a square-like rectangle with an irregular eastern side, is 63 miles from north to south and 54 miles from east to west at its widest point, and covers an area of 3,472 square miles. The John D. Rockefeller Jr. Memorial Parkway, an 80-mile scenic roadway that was established in 1972, connects Yellowstone with Grand Teton National Park to the south. Yellowstone is situated in a region that has been volcanically and seismically active for tens of millions of years. Tectonic movement of the North American plate has thinned Earth's crust in the area, forming a hotspot. About 2.1 million years ago, a subsurface magma dome that had been building up in the Yellowstone area blew up in one of the world's most cataclysmic volcanic eruptions, which was followed by several other smaller eruptions. Each of those eruptions caused the magma dome that had built up to collapse as its contents were released, leaving an enormous caldera. The present-day Yellowstone caldera, the product of the third eruption, is a roughly oval-shaped basin some 30 to 45 miles that occupies the west-central portion of the national park and includes the northern two-thirds of Yellowstone Lake. Two resurgent magma domes, one just north of and the other just west of Yellowstone Lake, have been forming in the caldera. Before listening to the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 14 to 20. The Yellowstone region is also extremely active seismically. A network of faults associated with the region's volcanic history underlies the park's surface, and the region experiences hundreds of small earthquakes each year. The great majority of those quakes are of magnitude 2.0 or less, and are not felt by people in the area, but occasionally a more powerful trembler will strike in the region and have effects in the park. One such event, a deadly quake that struck in 1959 in southern Montana, just outside the northwestern corner of the park, affected a number of hydrothermal features in Yellowstone, including its iconic geyser, Old Faithful. Yellowstone's relief is the result of tectonic activity combined with the erosional actions of ice and water. Most of the park consists of broad volcanic plateaus with an average elevation of about 7,875 feet. 3 mountain ranges, each aligned roughly north to south, protrude into the park. The Gallatin Range in the northwest, the Absaroka Range in the east, and the northern extremity of the Teton Range along the park's southwestern boundary. The tallest mountains in the park are in the Absarokas, where many summits exceed elevations of 10,000 feet. The range's Eagle Peak on the park's boundary in the southeast is the high point, reaching 11,358 feet. Aside from its rugged mountains and spectacular deep glacier-carved valleys, the park has unusual geologic features, including fossil forests, eroded basaltic lava flows, a black obsidian or volcanic glass mountain, and odd erosional forms. Yellowstone is also known for its many scenic lakes and rivers. The park's largest body of water is Yellowstone Lake, which, having a surface area of 132 square miles and lying at an elevation of 7,730 feet, is the highest mountain lake of its size in North America. The West Thumb area, a knob-like protrusion of the lake on its west side, was formed by a relatively small eruption in the caldera about 150,000 years ago. The next largest lake, Shoshone Lake, lies in the caldera southwest of Yellowstone Lake. The park's most extensive drainage system is that of the Yellowstone River, which enters at the southeast corner, flows generally northward, and exits near the northwest corner of the park. The river's Yellowstone Falls, located in the north-central part of the park, descend in 2 majestic cascades. The Upper Falls, with a drop of 114 feet, and the Lower Falls, with a drop of 308 feet. The falls constitute the western end of the spectacular Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. There, the river has cut a gorge 19 miles long, between 800 and 1,200 feet deep, and up to 4,000 feet wide. The walls of the canyon, sculpted from decomposed volcanic rock, are brilliantly colored in hues of red, pink, yellow, buff, lavender, and white. Other streams of note include the Snake River, which rises and flows along the park's southern boundary before joining the Lewis River and heading south, and the Gallatin and Madison Rivers, both of which rise in and flow through the northwestern part of Yellowstone before exiting the park and eventually forming the Missouri River in southern Montana.
The end of Part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to Part 3.
You will hear a conversation between 2 senior students who have to organize a competition for the University Open Day. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 27. Listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 27.
Hi, Grant. What sort of competition do you think we should organize?
Well, Claire, the Open Day Committee was pretty clear on that. It must be something with youth appeal.
That makes sense. After all, most of the visitors will have just left high school.
Yeah, so I was thinking technology?
Do you mean something which uses the latest technology, like an iPod?
Something like that, but a bit more expensive maybe.
What about the latest iPhone? I'm saving up for one right now.
Let's make it an iPad. I wish I'd had a tablet computer when I started university.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That should get a lot of our younger visitors interested.
Right. Let's go with that then.
Fine. We could go into town now and buy it. I saw great deals advertised at the Rick Smith store.
Oh, I don't think we'll have to worry about that. A university purchase order will probably be arranged through the Resources and Supplies section.
Well, that's settled then. What about the competition? Is it going to be a game of skill or a guessing game or something else?
What do you think would work best?
Good question. I don't think it should be anything too hard or anything that will make the visitors look silly. Some of them have such fragile egos.
True. So, something that anyone can do. Nothing competitive, no skill or intelligence involved.
That's right. But the main thing is that the contestants have a lot of fun.
How do we do that?
Well, I was thinking of a popular TV series, science fiction or science fantasy. I don't actually know the difference.
Go on.
It's a series where in every episode the main characters step through a portal into another world or another era.
What's a portal?
It's like a gateway or entrance to something.
Okay, I get it. They'll be stepping into the new world of tertiary learning. So somehow we encourage people to step through this portal. Then what?
They get their photo taken.
Is that all?
Not exactly. Let me think.
I can't see how that's a competition, unless we pick the best photograph. But there's not much excitement or involvement in that for the participants.
Wait. We don't decide on the winner. I mean, no one person does. We get them, the public, to do it.
How?
Put all the photos on Facebook, and the one with the most votes wins.
I agree. Good idea. But there's just one more thing I'm not clear about. How do we get hold of a portal?
I was thinking graduates of the engineering department could construct it as part of their contribution to Open Day.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 28 to 30. Now, listen and answer questions 28 to 30.
How do visitors enter the competition on Open Day?
Well, firstly, they have to make their way to the portal photo booth on campus.
Okay, a bit like a treasure hunt to start with.
Yes, and then they get their photo taken stepping through the portal.
And they'll have to write down their details. You know, name, phone number, email. No, hang on. Let's keep it simple. Just name and email address should do.
Then after, say, the 30th of July, people can visit the university Facebook page and vote for their favorite photo.
So the photo with the most votes wins.
Yes, I think that should generate quite a bit of interest.
What about a cutoff date?
Of course, maybe, the most popular photo as of 5 p.m. on the 10th of August will collect the iPad.
And the winner will be notified by email.
And the winning photo will be enlarged and published in full color on the university Facebook page.
That is the end of part 3.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 4.
You will hear a talk given by a lecturer in the Environmental Studies Department on agriculture and environment. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Welcome to this lecture on agriculture and the environment. I hope it is enough to make some of you decide on a career in the field of agricultural science. As you all know, food is a basic human need, and producing enough of it is the single greatest challenge facing the modern world. Developing nations have rapidly expanding populations, so agriculture should be central to any development agenda for those countries. What's more, 75% of people in the developing world are dependent, directly or indirectly, on agriculture for their livelihood. And for many low-income countries, it's the most important sector of the economy, accounting for 50% of GDP, and sometimes it's the primary, if not only, source of foreign currency. Now, of course, when I talk about agriculture, I am using the term to encompass more than just growing food crops. Of course, livestock farming, fishing, and forestry are included. In order to combat wide-scale food shortages, agricultural research programs are underway in many areas. Using science is one way to increase productivity. But, a word of warning, agriculture must also be sustainable. Let's look at approaches that are not sustainable. Firstly, overgrazing and intensive cropping are two ancient but destructive practices that lead to loss of soil fertility. Secondly, the modern idea of liberal application of chemical pesticides and herbicides has had disastrous consequences for the health of the land, ranging from the pollution of water sources to the destruction of wildlife. These practices have ignored the mechanisms that sustain ecological communities. Ignorance has led to the destruction of the very biodiversity that is essential for sustainable food production. However, introducing new agricultural techniques, especially things like genetic engineering, can be difficult because many people remain suspicious of the fact that plants have had their genetic material modified by scientists. Biotechnology has also led to the dubious practice of bioprospecting, or, as some prefer to call it, biopiracy. Foreign multinational companies have been accused of illegally obtaining samples of indigenous plants of other countries in order to get their hands on genetic material to improve the quality or yield of their own crops. We must put aside the controversy surrounding the field of agricultural biotechnology in order to concentrate on the biggest threat to food production on this planet, which is, yes, climate change. The effects of global warming so far have been to shrink the food supply, thereby pushing up prices and making even the most basic necessities unaffordable. As I see it, the international community must address this and other challenges to agricultural production with urgency. Concrete scientific and technological achievements need to be presented for farmers to evaluate and learn to use. But, apart from that, governments need to address the complex issues of policy development if the world's hungry are to be fed. Environmental policies need to be put in place to protect ecosystems and correct soil degradation where possible. Countries cannot continue to exploit natural resources whilst ignoring the consequences. In fact, I'd like to see teams of agriculture and environment experts making up a global network which would monitor the world's farming systems. Different farming systems should be studied not only with a view to analyzing the environmental effects, but the social and economic effects as well. The studies would be carried out with a view to stemming pollution and erosion and promoting safe, cost-effective practices that will guarantee a secure food supply in the future. Monitoring sites would need to be set up all across the world and data collected in a systematic way. Of course, building the online infrastructure for such a project would cost millions of dollars, and there would be ongoing costs involved with the monitoring system. But the information gathered would go a long way towards solving the problem of feeding the masses and ensuring millions of people don't face a hungry future.
That is the end of part 4.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
So guys, don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test and speaking, you got guesswork. Please guys, participate in everyday new IELTS listening and reading practice tests to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. For more IELTS material, visit my official website www.ieltsupdatesandrecentexams.com. The link is given below in the description. If you need PDF files of latest IELTS material, then please join my Telegram channel. So guys, please write your score below the comment section. Again, thanks for listening. God bless you all guys. Stay tuned, stay safe.